Hello, welcome. I'm very happy to have you here, and I'm very happy to talk to you today. I'm going to talk to you about the importance of digital worlds, the importance of a digital Europe, and about how to make sure that Europe is going to be strong in the digital domain. So I'm going to talk about what to do for a strong digital Europe. Ever thought about the importance of digital tools, how important digital technology is in our lives? Let me show you something. This is just one part of the digital world, the social networks, in particular Facebook and Instagram or WhatsApp. Just compare the number of users in these networks to the largest companies. And all of a sudden you realize that Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp, they are big. Digital technologies are really, really very big. But we can look at it from a different point of view as well. We can have a look at the largest digital companies, the value of these largest companies. So if anyone had a doubt about the dominance of digital companies and dominance of digital technologies in our lives, then this could be a really good picture to clarify. And from the top 5, 4 are clearly digital companies, and I would say Visa itself is also quite digital. I was invited to give you a talk about the future trends in digital technologies. So let me jump right over there. So what is the future? Right, that was the future. A humanoid robot working with the elderly. A payment system where you can pay with your face and your palm without any card or money. or an autonomous delivery system where robots deliver your parcels to your door. Wrong. Actually, it is wrong on several accounts. First of all these solutions, all these products that you saw in the video are the present. These are all companies and these are all products right on the market as we speak. They are not widespread yet, but that's only a matter of a few years, I'm convinced. But it's also wrong that I do not think that the real vision about the future is going to be like this. It's not going to be necessarily robots at every corner or other paramount explicit representations of technology. On the other hand, I do think that the future of digital is going to be like this. You might be surprised, or you might be a little bit confused. What do I mean? What is it in here? Well, as you can see, this is a utility line, one of our common utilities. This is part of the electric grid. And this is a technology that has been futuristic and that has been quite hyped a little bit more than a century ago. About 120 years ago, electricity was really science fiction. If you talk to people back in those days, like my great-grandparents, about something on the wall that you would just touch or hit, and all of a sudden there would be light, it all sounded like magic, right? And then we didn't talk about anything else like electric motors or mixers or microwave ovens or television. Just the power of electricity, it looked like something really out of the future, something really out of science fiction. Nowadays, however, electricity is taken for granted. We don't really think about that. We don't really think about its strategic value. We pretty much only recognize electricity. We pretty much only notice electricity when it malfunctions. If I hit the switch on the wall and there is no light, then I took notice. If there is light, if it all works, nobody cares. We take it for granted. And my projection is that digital technologies, including all the hype words, all the hype technologies like artificial intelligence, 5G, Internet of Things, IoT, blockchain, you name it, my prediction is that it is going to be taken for granted in a couple of decades. It's going to be just grayed out. It's going to be just embedded in our everyday lives. We won't really take notice unless it malfunctions. It's going to be pretty much like electricity today. And I have to tell you that it is not my metaphor. I'm taking this metaphor from a wise old man I heard talking, and I read an interview with him a couple of decades ago, about 2 decades ago. That was the time in the middle of the 90s when internet was a big hype. Internet technology was very new. Everybody thought that it will change the world. By the way, it did. But that was the hype new technology during what is now called the dot-com boom. Back in those days, I was starting my own startup, well, in internet technologies, of course. And one day, I read this interview in the newspaper by one of the leading figures of telecommunications technologies. It was, I believe, the CEO of one of the large telcos. And actually, he said that in 10 years or more, internet is going to be an infrastructure. Internet is going to be like electricity. It's just going to be there. We're just going to use it. We won't even take notice. We just take it for granted. And actually, that is what is happening today. You take it for granted that you can watch this presentation over the internet. I take it for granted that my presentation will reach you over the internet. And I don't think about the details. In the back of my mind, I have some knowledge about my subscription details, but I don't think a lot about the internet as a technology. It's just there, it serves us, and we use it. And my point is that the future is going to be exactly like that with digital technologies as well, be that big data, artificial intelligence, blockchain, etc. Or this could actually be something like this. And this could be a problem. And this is the point where we need to talk about the future. We need to talk about what to do with digital technologies, how to use it, and what values to use to guide it and control it. We need to bring our European values to the digital domain as well, and we need to save the digital technologies usage within this framework. And what values do I mean? I mean, we have a lot of European values, but principally I think about European values like fairness, inclusiveness, and sustainability. And I think digital technology can serve all of these. It can preserve equality, inclusiveness, fairness, and sustainability. The problem is, of course, that in order for European values to be preserved in the digital domain, we need dominant players, dominant European players in the digital domain. Let's look at the situation today. On the right, you see the 20 most valuable technology brands in the world. And there are little flags in discs next to the name of the company, which may not be very easy to see for you, but that's why I earmarked with yellow the only European company in the top 20. All the other companies you see, Apple, Microsoft, Tencent, etc., are either American or Asian. The only digital company in the top 20 in the world is SAP. All the rest are non-European. On the left, you see the same thing, a little bit older figure, but it also lists the companies by their companies of the platform economy, pretty much digital economy. And the bubble size is the market capitalization a couple of years ago. And you can see that we have a lot of big players in the USA. We have a lot of big players in Asia and very few notable players in Europe. And clearly this is a problem, because if we want our values to be reflected in the digital world, we need to make sure that the companies dominating this world have those values. And I'm fairly sure some of the companies from Asia and USA have or share some of these values, but the only real way to be sure that European values are represented is if we have dominant European players. In EIT Digital, we work exactly like what I said. We want to make sure that the digital companies, the dominating digital companies, have European values, are European, and reflect the European values I mentioned: inclusiveness, fairness, and sustainability. EIT Digital is the largest digital innovation community in Europe. We are an association with organizations as members, a lot of companies, a lot of universities and research organizations, and we work exactly to this goal. Our vision is to help European companies to get back their positions in the top 50, top 20 digital companies of the world. And we want to help that in 10 years from now, 1/3 of those companies are European. How can you achieve that? Well, what we think is that you need those companies to get there. You either need new companies, new innovative companies who can grow and dominate the world, or you need to have existing companies to get there, to grow and get a very good position in the world. And of course, for both of these, we need talent. We need talent who are very well-skilled digital people, but also with the soft skills needed for business and innovation. And this is what we work for. In EIT Digital, we are an ecosystem. You can see in the middle that we cover Europe with offices, with members. We have members from all over Europe, more than 350, close to 400 at the moment, and we work hard towards this goal that I mentioned. We have two pillars of our activity. One is our venture portfolio. We help creating new ventures. We help boosting existing ventures or accelerating their international growth. On the other hand, we have a detailed and complex education program at the master level at the doctoral level and at the professional level, making sure that people not only have technical skills that we have many in Europe, but also the soft skills needed for business. In other words, we want to make sure that the research results created in Europe are actually used in Europe, are brought to the market in Europe, making sure that the business benefits of European results get back to Europe as well. You can see that figure, that triangle on the top left. That is our methodology, that is our philosophy. We want to make sure that we integrate all the players needed for successful business innovation. And for that, you need the right type of education, you need the right type of talent, you need research members, you need research results, but we also need businesses who know how to grow it on the market, who know how to launch it on the market. And our philosophy is to have an ecosystem, to have a network of organization, have a large network of people who work together, who meet regularly, with the ability to exchange thought and start working together to inspire each other and to make sure that these businesses happen. This is our goal and this is our mission. But let me show you an example. This team of students participated in the hackathon organized by the European Commission a year ago in April 2020. It was called EU versus Virus. It was intended to generate results to help to address the challenges of the pandemic. And this team of students applied with their idea, and they actually won one of the largest category of the competition. And once we learned about it in EIT Digital, we get in talk with them and offered help to launch their idea, to create their idea and launch it on the market. So we organized partners for them within our ecosystem, helping the manufacturing of their product, helping the launching of their product with customers, etc. And we also arranged for investment for them. And now they have their own company, they have their product on the market and working on spreading it across the world.
At this moment, there are over 400,000 people hospitalized with COVID-19 only in Europe. There is a huge shortage of nurses in hospitals. They take too long, about 10 minutes, to check up on a single patient, and everybody is exposed to an extremely high risk of infection. So how can we bring about change? At Entremo, we are developing a remote monitoring device that patients can wear on their wrist constantly, just like I do now, and it measures their most important vital signs like body temperature, oxygen saturation, and respiratory rate automatically and remotely. This enables nurses to oversee far more patients at the same time through our dashboard and keep a safe distance. Together with our 4 EIT Digital partner companies, we are working round the clock to bring our pilot project to hospitals.
So this is what we are and this is what we do. And I really thank you very much for your attention. Please, if you are interested, get in contact with me or with us. I would be very happy to explain you what opportunities we have, how we can work together. If you are interested in our educational programs, or if you have an idea, let's talk. Maybe we can make sure that the idea happen. Maybe we can help that idea happen and to be launched on the market. Thank you very much. Have a very good day.